Happy Wednesday, the 2nd of November. I've been out here working on the garden and I must say it's looking so good. So I thought I'd show you, and I'm about to plant some potatoes. We've got some trellising up for the tomatoes. We used for the extension of the trellis, we are needing to use what we have. So we have old fencing here. It is rickety looking, but it's secure. And the tomatoes don't care what they're on. Cattle panel's a little bit further down. I have posts ready to put fencing on for the tomatoes. They're growing nicely. Several of them did not make it, however, where the poles are, where the posts are, they did. So happy about that. Over here I have planted these rows and they're looking beautiful. In this row here I planted pak choi in the first part, and then I have the straw here to mark the sections. This is rainbow Swiss chard. Down here is cauliflower. Over here, it's a little bit late for it, but I'm going to try it out. That is going to be spinach. Hopefully it will germinate. And then skip a row and then come over here. These two are going to be my two kales. One is the red Russian and one is either Ethiopian or Egyptian kale. My bag says both because I'm not sure which seeds those are. And here's 3 varieties of lettuces: salad bowl, igloo, romaine. I had to divide this row into a couple of varieties because of the fact that I didn't have enough seeds of one or the other. Over here are our strawberries left over from last year. They over summered under all of the weeds that were growing, so the weeds did provide shelter and respite from the heat and moisture for these strawberry plants. On either side over here are carrots, and over here I put beets. The following row, all of this is heirloom green cabbage. And let's see if I can remember what kind it is. No, I can't remember it. But that whole row is green cabbage, and all I did was I just stagger planted them. Getting a lot done today. I'm excited, and it's looking attainable. Heading back over here to the potato area. This is where the corn was in the spring. In our cooler where we were storing our Kennebec potatoes, they went to seed and started sprouting. So we are going to make good use of these potatoes and plant them for a fall harvest. So I've spaced them out, staggering them back and forth. We have a whole bunch more in the cooler, but I've got both of these rows to do, this row and the following row over here. We've got plenty. We probably have too much for these 2 rows. I'm going to get planting and see how many these 2 rows take, and see if we're going to keep the ones that are in the cooler or if we're just going to discard them. Good morning. It's been a couple days since I've vlogged, recorded anything, and I'm out here in the garden. I've got some more weeding to do. We got a lot done yesterday, getting all the tall grass out of this side of the garden. I'm telling you, this time change is starting to kick my butt because it gets daylight an hour earlier, it gets hotter earlier, so I'm still in the old time. So I got to figure out how to get on the new schedule and get out here earlier. But I still have some shade to work in this morning, and that's what I'm going to do for as long as I can. And our garden is coming along really nicely. So I'm excited about that, and just working little by little, concentrating on what I got to do in front of me instead of what I'll have to do eventually. Today is November 7th, and the last shot you saw of this was on the 2nd of November. I want to show you that I have my pak choi coming up in these divots, and that's super exciting. They're growing quickly. And then over here, I don't see, well, do I see? Yes, I see some of the Swiss chard coming up over here. It really doesn't take long to get these things to start germinating and growing. Then over here I have my kale. Isn't that amazing? That's so quick. This is the Ethiopian or Egyptian kale, and I know that I planted them kind of thick, but I can always thin them out. The whole row has germinated. We're still waiting on the next row over, which is the red Russian kale. I haven't seen any sign of it yet, but it may just be a little slower germinating. And then over here by the strawberries, I think down here I was seeing some beets coming up. Let's see if I can spot them. Oh, here we go. We got some beets coming up right here along. And then over here we have some cabbages coming. Really super happy about that. So that's that row. And I don't think I've seen the carrots yet. They generally take a little longer. However, I am seeing something that might just be a weed. I don't think that's carrot. But there are little things coming up over here. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on that. See? And they are in the places that I planted the carrots. Got the rest of our trellising up for the tomatoes. You see how wonky that fence is, but again, the tomatoes will grow on it just fine. We had one break off, but it's got another stem coming up, and we're hoping that that will grow. This over here, what I've done is I've taken this gardening tape and tied them up. I like the gardening tape because it's stretchy and it doesn't cut into the stem. I've gotten these over here. This one looks kind of sad. I'm hoping that it will make it. We've pulled this trellis up off the ground a bit because the fence itself is not really tall enough to go as high as the tomatoes will grow. But I'm glad I was able to get all of these larger plants trellised up and at least supported on there so that they don't start growing all over the ground and crazy. And what I've done here is just, I didn't want to force the plant too close, so what I've done is I've just tied it under a limb and offered it some support. The thing that I'm tackling this morning is that clump of weeds right there. Corey got all of the tall grass out of there, which was a huge job, a huge deal, especially since there was ants living in some of the roots, and of course they like to get all over you. So he had to deal with that yesterday. And then we'll pretty much have this whole half of the garden reclaimed. Got some low-lying weeds here, which is fine. Some of them will act as a low ground cover. I won't get rid of all of them, but I will keep that maintained. The last thing over here I need to do is this row over here, which I'm going to prepare for some beans or peas and cucumbers, and I'm not sure what I'll do with the rows in between. is the next day, and I'm coming out here to pick some avocado. We're going to take them to church with us, and thought I'd show you what I'm harvesting here. Aren't these pretty? These are the bacon avocado variety, and I'm going to pick some, and hopefully they'll ripen. Oh, that came all the way off. Trying to get them a little bit. Got several of them. Some of them are softer than others, so hopefully they will ripen all together in time. I'm going to take you over here and show you the end product from working yesterday over here on the north end of the garden. That's where the tomatoes are, and this is the last part I had to reclaim. So I was able to get that weeded along there and along the outside. What I did is I had some marigold seeds saved from a friend, and I planted them along the outer side, and I'm hoping that they will germinate and come up and be beautiful. That's about it for this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next one. God bless.